happening, guys? Welcome back. Today we're gonna start working on the Fox again. It's been put to the side for a while. I've just been doing a couple things. Been working on the Cadillac and haven't really had time to work on the Fox, but got a few parts in, so we're gonna continue moving forward with the build. So let's get this thing out the carport tent and get it to the lift area where I work on the cars. Alright, so I got the car back in the lift area. Set up my little tent for some shade. Got my little table out here. About to bring all the fuel system parts that I ordered and start sorting everything out and get ready to basically start making some fuel lines and getting them fittings on there. So yeah, let's go get them boxes out the house. A little graveyard of parts. So the fuel system stuff. Charles over there chilling next to the fire. Charles, what's up, boy? Stretching, lazy. So I just got my transmission cooler in, derail. Same one I run on my the taxi. These things do good. Got my dash 8 fittings. Going to mount this to the car. Once I get this mounted, I'm going to start the plumbing from the transmission to the cooler. So that'll be next. Let's get this thing mounted. So I just got done mounting my transmission cooler. Made a little bracket to support it. This thing ain't going nowhere. Also got my transmission lines ran. Got it all nice and zip tight already. Ran it along the frame rail right here in the outside. So as you can see, I always mark once I'm done snugging anything down, either snugging it down or torquing it. That way later on when you're going through the car, you see that line is there, you know you're already tightening up, and that's one less thing you don't have to worry about. Next two I got to mark are these two because I already snugged both of these. Got my marker here. So yeah, wrapped up for today. We'll continue this tomorrow. All right, so we got all of our parts out of the boxes. Got our dash 8, our dash 10, return feed. Got our assortment of fittings. Got my fuel filter here. Got the fuel pump controller. Got my regulator. Got my fuel gauge. Also received my power and ground for my battery box. I'm also going to be doing that as well. Got my tank. I got it all cleaned up. So yeah, that's all the parts. All right, I just got done installing my back fuel lines to the fuel rails over here, to the regulator. Got my regulator in position right here. I'm going to put the blower back on already. That's the only reason I had the blower off, was to get these back two fuel lines installed. Couldn't get to them with the blower on, so let's get that back on there. So I just got done putting the blower back on. Got my bolts all torqued up. Got my heater hose all hooked back up. Breather hose hooked up. Everything fits nice to the regulator. Plenty of room back there for the fuel lines. So I got my intake back on, got my pulley back on, got the belt back on. Going to get the wheel grinder out and shortened up these studs. They're a little too long for my liking, but everything up here is coming along. So I got my battery box mounted last night. Wasn't recording, camera was dead, but got this mounted. I went to the parts store and I got myself a few things to finish the battery box. Got my 2 gauge power wire. Got my ground 2 gauge as well. Battery terminals. Got me some of these. So I just got done putting my terminals and cables together. About to get ready to route this underneath the car. Get the ground, find a good ground spot underneath the frame somewhere. Battery box in there. Move these butterfly nuts. So I got my ground and my power in the box. Got my little rubber grommets so the metal doesn't chafe through the wire eventually. So I'm gonna put the lid back over it for now. since I'm not planning on putting a battery anytime soon. So I just got wrapped up putting in the cables. Got everything, got a P-clamp on here. Ran my ground through this grommet hole over here. Then I ran my cable, decided to run it through the inside of the car. Build a hole right here. Put some tape just so it doesn't chafe through. And I'm going to run it through the firewall out. Alright, so I got a little dark. Got my boy Rogel washing up the car. It's been sitting for a while, so it's been collecting a little bit of dust, so don't want to risk it getting more swirl marks when we rub up against it. So getting it all cleaned up for right now. Continue working on the car tomorrow morning. Alright, so I just got done routing my fuel lines from my fuel regulator. This is my feed, -10. It's my return. It's -8. It's my power from the battery box in the trunk. It meets to this junction here, and then I have it bridged to a second junction, which this is the alternator and the starter. The reason I went this route, bridging it over like that, is so I have more space on the stud on both sides if I ever want to get power, like for my fans, for like the trans cooler and the heat exchanger and stuff. I could, for my relay, I could just grab my power here. I don't have to run it all the way to the back of the trunk to get power. Alright, so I'm done mounting my fuel lines with the P-clamps and some zip ties nicely down the body. Got my fuel filter and P-clamp on there. This goes up here. Still undecided what I'm gonna do up there. I'll probably do the same as I did here. And then these fuel lines are pretty much just ready for the tank to go up, and cut the ends off, put the AN fittings on there, and screw them on to the fuel hat. So this is the gas tank I'm going to be using for the Fox build. The pump right here. Got my rubber grommet or rubber seal that comes with the pump. Pretty much ready to get dropped in. Alright, so tank is pretty much all wrapped up, ready for it to get bolted back up. Got all my wires connected. It's all nicely wire loomed. It's ready to go inside the car. Got my fittings all snugged up, bolts all snugged up. Got my torque lines, marked them, made sure I tied everything. Alright, so got my fuel tank on my tranny jack here. Getting ready to cut my lines and put my fittings on. Alright, so I got my lines all snugged up. Tank's ready to go up. Alright, gas tank's finally all bolted up. All in there. Got my fuel lines zip tied and up out the way. Got my fuel filter bolted up. Marked my lines, make sure that I snugged it down. Everything's nicely P-clamped with riv nuts all the way up. So the fuel system is all wrapped up. So we're gonna call it a day. It's starting to get a little cold out. Might put the car in the garage. It looks like it's gonna rain. But that'll do it for today's video. Check you guys out on the next one. Peace.